Let's do more new things. In addition to the walk-up, I'm going to try a different location for my stand-up. Welcome to Modern Motoring. I'm Jay. I'm wearing green. The Volkswagen Taos is green. It's the mid-cycle refresh for 2025. So we'll go through what's new, the perks, the quirks, the irks, go through pricing and competition. With that, let's get out of our new background, see if it sticks, let me know in the comments, and let's check out the 2025 Volkswagen Taos. Starting off with our baseline numbers, every Taos for 2025 now gets a 1.5-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder engine. Gone is the 7-speed DCT, and everybody gets the 8-speed automatic. There's a slight bump in horsepower, now it's 174, and torque still stays the same at 184 pound-feet. On the fuel consumption side, there is a single front-wheel drive trendline trim in Canada, and that gets 7.6 liters per 100 kilometers combined. Every other trim, well, you can get the trendline and all-wheel drive as well, but everything all-wheel drive bumps up to 8.4 liters per 100 kilometers. So it's not quite a full liter, but it is a significant increase. But the trade-off being, if you are in Canada or somewhere that gets inclement weather during winter, then I think it's worth it to spend the extra $2,000, even for the base trendline, to go from front-wheel drive to all-wheel drive. And the final two sets of numbers are cargo figures. With those rear seats up, it's 790 liters. Put those rear seats down, and it bumps up to 1,866. Let's go through what's new for the 2025 Taos. There's a new grille, there's a new light bar, there's new wheels, so good old mid-cycle refresh stuff. Still very recognizable as far as the Taos goes, but just freshen up a little bit. On the inside, we have a new 8-inch floating infotainment system. There's a lot more soft touch materials, which elevates the feel of the cabin. It's a lot more premium feeling than it was before. Kind of like the new Tiguan I had maybe 2 months ago, where that was borderline luxury. Now, it's not the same here, but it is certainly an elevated experience in the Taos for 25 compared to 24. There are new interior colors, there are new exterior colors, and there is a new automatic climate control features. On the perk side of things, the Taos drives exceptionally well, and it's right up there with the driving dynamics of the Mazda CX-30, which is best in class to me. And it's very well planted, it's small, agile, nimble, and it feels a lot more athletic than what the power figure is saying. That's just the way it's been tuned and designed and engineered. But it drives with the feeling of, let's say, something smaller and lower like a Jetta compared to a subcompact crossover. It's relatively quiet in here given the price point and the class of vehicle. And it just feels really good. It feels really sturdy, and running around town all week, city streets, highways, some back roads as well. No second guessing on what the Taos' capabilities are. Again, fairly quiet, pretty responsive, goes up and down those 8 gears without any issues. Fractional turbo lag, which is to be expected of anything that's non-luxury in the turbo world. So I gotta say, overall, very impressed with how the Taos drives. Spending a little more time on the interior as far as the perk side goes. Very upscale, very premium. Yeah, there's a little more piano black than I would like specifically, but it's not in a heavy touch point area. There's a big panel in front of your front passenger, and the trim for the instrument cluster is also piano black. But again, you don't touch them. So piano black is great as far as an aesthetic goes if it's free of fingerprints, and I can't see any reason why the piano black placement here would accumulate fingerprints. Dust, sure. Fingerprints, not so much. And just the overall look and feel, the different colors of the dash panel here in this specific configuration. Seats look good, feel good as well. And it's a really, really well put together interior, right? It almost best in class for me. Mazda also wins on that front. No shot against the Taos, but Mazda's been doing this in-between thing for years and years, where they're not luxury, they're not mainstream, they're kind of just in the middle and happily sitting there. So the Taos is close to that here as far as the 25 refresh goes. Thank you, Volkswagen, for keeping the physical touch buttons on the steering wheel. Yeah, there's a couple of blanks, not really the end of the world, but the fact that there are physical buttons and the fact that there are a lot of them here makes it easier to navigate and manipulate when you're doing, let's say, 100 kilometers an hour. Pretty solid amount of cargo space, and the fact that it more than doubles when you fold it down shows me that there is a lot of space for your rear passengers. And yes, I've been back there, but that's a key tell for me that when the seats go down, if that cargo space really rockets up, a lot of space for your passengers. On to the last two perks. First up is that there is a good amount of standard safety. Your front, sides, and rear are covered through automatic emergency braking, blind spot monitoring, rear cross traffic alert. So I think the further we go into the modern automotive world, the more and more standard safety there is. And it was still only a few years ago where manufacturers were nickel and diming you for things that should have been standard. So nicely done here, Volkswagen. Finally, the fact that there are available cooled seats on the top trim here, pretty good move. You don't see that very often in the subcompact crossover world, and definitely more of certainly a luxury thing and a larger vehicle, like a compact crossover. Onto the Quirk side of things, and there is no power liftgate, and it could be an Irk, but it's such a small vehicle, and I don't know if you really need it. I think that they'll certainly put one in for the next generation, but I think it's a bit of a quirky move just to have it be traditional, I guess, for lack of a better word. There is a little pass-through in the rear seats, and I haven't seen that very often in a subcompact crossover vehicle, so I think it's quirky, definitely helpful, so it could be into the perks column as well, but let's keep it in the quirks. And finally, there is a physical spare tire instead of a tire fill/tire repair kit. On the Irks side, there's really just the main one that you should look at if you're looking to pick up a Taos, or if the Taos is on your A list for potential subcompact crossovers, and it's the HVAC system. And it really puts a damper on things here because everything else is done so well, so cleanly, and so forward thinking that it's a significant step backward to have no physical buttons here and sliders for the fan control speed. And I know there's automatic climate and that quells that concern, but A, it's really low down, and it's hard to get that muscle memory. And when you hear the click of a button for fan speed up or down or changing the air, whatever it happens to be, you know what you're doing. But without that, there's that element of inconsistency and guessing, and we know Volkswagen knows how to do it, and previous vehicles have had physical buttons for the HVAC. I hope this trend goes away and we return to more physical buttons. I don't mean like the old GM stuff where there were 30, 40, 50 buttons crammed in here, but for things that you use often and things that require a little bit of attention at higher speeds, yeah, it's not good. Wrapping up with pricing and competition, the entry level here for the Taos comes through the Trendline front-wheel drive. Canadian MSRP figure comes in at $29,795. So it's nice that it's under 30 grand. And if you want to bump up to the base model, but with all-wheel drive, the Trendline all-wheel drive is $2,000 more at $31,795. Come up all the way to the top of the Taos lineup, which is what we have here in the High line, and that comes in at $38,995. So a little under $10,000 more, and there are a couple of trims in between. On the competition side, the key one for me is going to be the Mazda CX-30, because driving dynamics are very similar, and the interior fit and finish is also very similar here. And other competitors include the Kicks, the Kona, the HRV, the Seltos, the Corolla Cross, the Trax, and the Trailblazer. And no shot against them, they all have very, very strong points to them. But if I'm looking at something that is very similar to what the Taos offers, it's the CX-30 that overall really is the closest match. That's going to wrap it up for the 2025 Volkswagen Taos. Let me know if you have any questions on what you've seen. I'm happy to get you answers as soon as possible, and I'm always happy to engage in respectful conversations online. I invite you to join the Modern Motoring social community. We're on all of the major platforms, and without you, there is no modern motoring. So I thank you, I appreciate you, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.